All right, for anyone who's in class today, we are happy to do our hands-on project as well as review. So if you're caught up with class, you are welcome to do those. If you are here and would like to go over 1.1, I'm doing a re-recording because we uploaded it to YouTube and found it did not work. So we had this nice little, hey, it's being taught by Matt Van Blaricum the whole time, black screen. Not the most fun thing for someone trying to learn, let alone for someone trying to teach. So today we will be reviewing 1.1, that is place value, rounding, and comparing whole numbers. I'm just going to check my microphone. It should be working this time. All right. When I say the word Hindu, Arabic, base 10 number system. If you're ever bored, just say that to someone randomly. Watch their reaction. You will see horror. You will see them go, I don't know. Why are you bothering me with this? It's a great way to get rid of door-to-door salespeople. You can point out the no soliciting sign that in Iron County, it's a Class B misdemeanor to be knocking on your door, that you have dogs that are excitable. And then you can turn around and say, plus, I know the Hindu Arabic base 10 number system. Would you like to learn more about it? They will quickly make an exit. Oh, I am so mean to door salespeople. Look, if you can't read the no soliciting sign, you should not be a door-to-door salesperson. Just be glad I haven't gotten my chain link fence put up yet. When I get that put up, I will have my geese in the front yard for them. I will make it more clear, no soliciting, beware of Emrit on the front. And then if they decide to come in, they'll get to meet Emrit, and especially Henri Goose. I will upgrade my home video surveillance so that I can get YouTube quality clips from it. So if I ever go viral, you'll know why. It'll be posting videos of salespeople who ignore the no soliciting sign. All right, so Hindu Arabic base 10 number system. When I say that, that causes a lot of people heartburn. They're instantly reaching for the Rolaids, the Tums, the Alka-Seltzer, Pepto-Bismol, whatever. That's our regular number system. That's the number system that we've been using and been exposed to most of our lives. See, we say the word Hindu Arabic to describe the cultures it came from. Most of our math is actually Arabic in nature. When I was in college, I had a friend, his last name was Algebra. Poor guy sucked at math. It made it entertaining because, I mean, can you imagine the pressure? Your last name is Algebra. You show up to class. We were doing Boolean algebra and he had no idea what we were doing and I was helping him. And I jokingly said, you know, your last name's Algebra. It feels like false advertising. He's like, everyone says this to me. Okay. So it is Arabic in nature, the Hindu Arabic system. It doesn't mean it was the only base 10 number system. It's just the one that we've all said, okay, yeah, we'll agree to this. This will work. See, they used to do numbers in different systems. Like they used to say, okay, we have 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, or we have 1 palm. That was a base 5 number system. A little more complex. If we go with the Babylonians, if we're looking at a clock, oh, that is a horrible clock. That's okay. Look, I took art in college. Don't make fun of me. Art is interpretive. Okay. With that, you have the hands and things. How many minutes are in an hour? Well, there's 60. That comes from the ancient Babylonian base 60 system. Now, I keep saying this word base. What do I mean by that? Am I talking about the foundation of a building? Am I talking about, you know, all your base are belong to us, you know, that kind of stuff? A little gamer humor in there. What I'm talking about is we say each column has value, a set mattering amount. So if I have the number 19, it's not the same as the number 91. Order matters. If I go to the bank and I deposit $19 and they credit it as 91, I'm probably a happier human. If I go to the bank and go to withdraw $91 and they give me 19, I'm a very displeased human. They have a different value based on their order. So when we're talking about a base, we're saying, okay, what symbols can be in one column? Well, we have the symbol 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many symbols total do we have? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 potential symbols that can appear in a column. Once we get over one of those symbols, we have to go over another column. Each column to the left represents 10 of the previous column. So notice we have here ones, tens, hundreds. Now notice here it says ones, that's ones in the thousands. We actually call that thousands. Here it's called millions. We just note it as ones column because in that grouping, it's one of them. Whereas the next column over, it's 10 of the previous. So that's what we mean by base 10 number system. The largest number you get in a column will be 9. The lowest will be 0. You can't fit 10 in a column. You can try, but you're going to write 1, 0. The second you do, you've added another column. You can't fit 10 in a column. And for anyone who decides to disprove me by writing 10 in the column, you're adding a subcolumn. It's the same difference. But I like the way you think if you're thinking that. All right, so let's talk about how we count places. 1, 10, hundreds. Then we go to thousands. So we don't usually refer to these as ones. It's just the ones, the tens, the hundreds. Then we go to the thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Then we go to the millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. Then we go above that to billions and then trillions, and then it's giga something for the next ones. It's large numbers. You don't need more than a trillion? Oh, I don't know. Our national debt might hit it. We might need it for that. You never know. You know, how many miles is it from here to, oh, now I can't think of the name of the star. The nearest star system that could potentially support habitable life. It might be in trillions. And now I've got someone somewhere who's writing me an angry note saying, Matt, you don't know anything about astronomy. Keep to your own subject. Okay, fine. So this question says, what is the place value of 4 in this string? Well, in this integer, in this string of numbers. So I'm going to go over ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. This is 4 in the 10,000s. Notice I put a dash there because I'm cool that way. I put a dash because they're attached to each other. Now, why is it thousands? Oh, if I can spell. And not thousandths. Anytime I put a THS, I'm talking about pieces that aren't one whole. If we have the decimal here, this would be the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, so on and so forth. It always ends in a PHS. So when I say that, I'm talking about less than one whole. They're cut into pieces. The other thing to be aware of, if I say the word and, it means a decimal. So if I ever say to you, I have $15.38, well, if we look at that, 15 and 38. And means the decimal. It's hard to train yourself not to say, write the value of 2,500,036. If you say and, you're talking about a different number altogether. And is the decimal point. Means, hey, this is where we're going to get stuff that's less than 1 whole. All right, so let's have a look at the next one. It says, write the value of 2,500,036. So I'm going to write this with a focus on starting here, going to here, and going to here. Now let's say that I suck at this. Okay. I'm going to write the value of 2 million. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2 million. Now it says write 500,000. That's 500,000. 30. That's 30. 6. That's 6. If I add that, I will get the right answer of 2,500,000 0 hundreds 36. So that's one way I can do it, is I can expand that out and write every one. The point of these is that we automatically insert these zeros. We don't keep track of them. We just know they're there. You know, they're sort of like your redheaded stepchild. You know they're there, but you don't necessarily keep track of them. Maybe you'll lose them on the way to Walmart. Who knows? Don't abandon your children. That's just meant to be funny, not to be real. All right, so next let's talk about rounding. When we talk about rounding, I like to think of rounding like a hill. And so on it, you've got this point at 5, assuming I drew it well enough. Yeah, that's not going to play nice, is it? So you have a point on the hill at 5. And at 5 is the point of no return. Someone is alerting you that you need to pay attention to your cellular device. I can't hear you over your device, sorry. All right, so now with that, when I'm looking at rounding, if I'm looking at the number and it's 0 to 4, that's just gonna roll back down the hill completely. It's not gonna stay up there. But if it hits 5 or above, that is gonna roll all the way to the 10, period. That's the nature of the beast. So when we're rounding, we want to know where we're rounding to. And the point of rounding is to make things easier. So if I look at a car and it's 6,999.95, well, how much is that car? It's going to be 7,000. Who am I kidding? That's before dealer fees and everything else. It's closer to what, 7,850 by the time they're said and done. But hey, if it's a good experience, it's a good experience. Rounding helps me to know about how much money I need to bring, minus fees and all the unspoken rules of you have to pay us for washing the windows or whatever else. That's the point of rounding. What's significant to one person and significant to another? It is entirely dependent upon the situation. If I'm doing construction and I'm cutting boards to 1/128th of an inch, chances are I'm overthinking it. Depends on what I'm constructing. What's significant to me and significant to someone else can be different. I wonder if that would matter for a clean room. I would think on ceiling maybe. And by that I mean ceiling with glues and things so air can't get in, not the structure above our heads. So now let's have a look here. We're going to round 173 to the nearest 10. So I'm just going to write 173, and I'm going to underline the tens place. So the less I think in my brain while I do math, the happier I am. The more I do it on my paper, the happier I am. With that, I'm going to draw an arrow down to the 3. That'll automatically tell my brain, hey, you can disengage. You don't have to think anymore. Where am I rounding to? Oh, the one with the line. What am I looking at? The one I'm pointing to with the arrow. The one I'm pointing to with the arrow. Is that number above 5? No, it's a 3. Oh well, it'll just roll back down the hill to 0. And so I keep this number the same. 1, 7, and I add a 0 on the end. Now, what happens if the number is above 5? Let's say we have 175. Ooh, 5 or above. That one, if I'm rounding to the nearest 10, I underline and I point with an arrow. Well, now I know this one goes up right here, the 7 goes up by 1. And I write it as 180. If I do the underlining trick, I don't have to keep track of it. If I always start at the decimal and go to the left ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, so on and so forth when I'm counting, I won't have errors. It'll make my life easier. By underlining it, I'm freeing up my brain to think about the higher order thinking, not keep track of something in my mind. Keeping track of things in our minds leads to all kinds of errors. You will hear me say repeatedly, don't do math in your head. Then I'll do math in my head and I'll get it wrong. That's for your benefit. And if you believe that, I've got oceanfront property in Arizona for sale. No, I'm human, fallible. I make mistakes as well. Doing math in my head can be a mistake. If I were doing a presentation in front of 1,500 people and it was related to my ability to teach in the future, would I do a single bit of math in my head? No, not one bit. In fact, I would work out every problem I could 3 times ahead of time. So think of it like that. And what you get used to doing on your homework is what you'll do in a testing environment. So get used to being very neat and meticulous in your homework. Now the next one wants us to round 97870 to the nearest thousand. Notice I didn't say 97,870. That I'm a severe dyslexic. I get numbers mixed up. So if I just read the digits off to myself, 97870, I'm less likely to mess up. With that, I want to go to the nearest thousands. So I'm going to start here. There's no decimal, so it's implied that it's there. So I'm going ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and I underline the 1,000. And then I'm just going to draw my arrow here. That indicates to my brain, hey, all of these are going to turn to zeros when I'm done. And it's either going to stay 97 or it's going to go to 98. Well, let's see here. 8's above 5. So that makes this add 1, 98. 1, 2, 3. Now this can cause some confusion sometimes. Let's say that I had the number rounded to the nearest 1,000 there, right? Now let's say that I had the number 97970, and I wanted it to the nearest to the nearest 100, excuse me. I would be rounding it to right here, looking here. This is going to go up, but there's no space for it here. I've got to add 1 in this column, and it's going to get 98,000. You can round to a hundreds or to a tens and increase something above those. That's the nature of the beast. So don't be hung up by that if you run into that in the homework. The homework's there to remind you these things happen. Because I have a 9 here, that's going to go up. Well, where's it got to go? It's got to go into the thousands because it's 10 to be the thousands. All right, so next we're going to do some comparing. Just remember that on this, the alligators always go after the easy meal. They want the largest target possible. And so with these, we're going to always put it towards the larger one. Now it's asking me which is greater, the 126 or 132. So the first thing I'm going to do in my brain is I'm going to say, oh, okay. Both of them have something in the far left column here. So both of them have a 1. It's the same there. Okay. If I had one that was 1,000, it would be the larger one. Whoever has the most columns to the left is larger for what I'm doing. Well, let's see here. I'm going to then go to the next column. This is the tens. And who's more, 3 or 2? Well, 3 is. So I'm going to say, okay, 126, 132, and I'm going to put the alligator facing towards the 132. If I read this, it reads as 126 is less than 32. All right, so let's write out 13,904. Notice we want to say and there sometimes. But if we say 904, what are we talking about? So here we have 13,900 HUNDRED 4. And on these, on the homework, it'll have you type them in. And on it, it should not be too concerned about dashes and things. That's just based on the proper grammar at the time that the program was written. Are there any questions today? All right, well, please feel free to reach out via email, come in and see me. I do tutoring for this class Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. That time is blocked out for this class. If you want to meet with me over Zoom, I have it set up in my cubicle. I am more than happy to assist you anytime I'm not in class or assisting another student. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day.